Lauren Burnett's open casket decision has sent shockwaves through those following the situation, and the specific details surrounding this final farewell are raising profound and deeply uncomfortable questions. The sheer volume of people searching for information about this specific moment highlights a dark intersection of genuine grief and modern digital voyeurism. When a family chooses an open casket, especially in a case that has drawn any level of public attention, it is never a simple or standard decision. According to current reports, the visual reality of that moment has become the focal point of an intense online discussion, but the true reasoning behind it remains buried beneath layers of speculation. To understand the weight of an open casket in a highly scrutinized situation, you have to look past the immediate shock value and examine the psychology of grief. Grief counselors and funeral directors often note that viewing the deceased is a critical, albeit painful, step for many families in accepting an unimaginable reality. When a death is sudden, violent, or entirely unexpected, the human brain often rejects the finality of it. An open casket forces a brutal, undeniable confrontation with the truth. For the immediate family of Lauren Burnett, this choice was likely born out of a desperate need to physically see, rather than just be told, that their loved one was truly gone. However, one crucial detail quickly caught everyone's attention regarding the public's access to this highly private moment. In the digital age, the boundary between a sacred family farewell and public consumption is incredibly fragile. The moment the phrase, "Lauren Burnett open casket," began trending, it signaled a shift from private mourning to public spectacle. Authorities have not confirmed exactly how images or descriptions of the casket were disseminated outside the immediate family circle, but the rapid spread indicates a severe breach of funeral home etiquette or a deliberate leak by someone present in the room. That is where the story becomes even more disturbing. The ethics of sharing or even searching for open casket imagery in tragic cases is a deeply debated topic among media ethicists and psychologists. When the public seeks out these images, the justification is often morbid curiosity disguised as empathy. People want to see the toll of the tragedy to emotionally validate the severity of the loss. But for the grieving family, this digital circulation is a profound violation. It strips away the final shred of dignity the deceased has left, reducing a human life to a viral keyword. The investigation into how the details of Lauren Burnett's farewell became public knowledge is arguably as important as the events that led to her death. Then another layer of complexity surfaced regarding the physical presentation itself. In cases involving severe trauma, an open casket is rarely a simple process. It requires the extensive, highly specialized skills of a forensic mortician. According to current reports, the condition of the deceased at the time of the viewing has become a major point of discussion online. This raises deeply unsettling questions. Did the family request a full, unfiltered viewing to document the reality of what happened to her? Or was a partial viewing arranged, carefully reconstructed to provide peace without revealing the full extent of the trauma? Details remain limited, but the fact that the open casket is a central talking point suggests the visual reality was either exceptionally poignant or exceptionally difficult to process. Just when people thought they understood the emotional gravity of the situation, the legal and investigative implications of the open casket came into focus. While it is primarily a spiritual and emotional ritual, the viewing is also a critical moment for the family's private investigation. In cases where the official cause of death is contested, ambiguous, or pending toxicology results, the family will often use the viewing to look for physical clues that authorities might have missed or withheld. Bruising that doesn't match the official narrative, signs of a struggle, or subtle physical indicators that contradict the preliminary reports. The public response to the news has been sharply divided, exposing a stark contrast in how different communities process tragedy. On one side, there is an outpouring of genuine, heartbroken sympathy for the Burnett family, acknowledging the unbearable pain of having to say goodbye under a harsh public spotlight. On the other side, there is a relentless, almost predatory demand for more details, more context, and more visual confirmation. The media's handling of the open casket keyword has also faced intense scrutiny. Responsible outlets have largely refused to publish or describe specific visual details, recognizing the line between reporting the news and exploiting the dead. However, smaller unverified aggregation sites have weaponized the search term for clicks, publishing sensationalized headlines that offer zero factual value but generate massive ad revenue. This predatory ecosystem thrives on the public's inability to look away from a tragedy, feeding a cycle that ultimately re-traumatizes the grieving family. What is often lost in the viral spread of such a macabre search term is the actual life of the person inside the casket. Lauren Burnett is no longer just a name attached to a tragic final image. She has been temporarily reduced to a grim spectacle. But behind the trending keyword is a timeline of a real life, filled with mundane routines, personal triumphs, complex relationships, and a future that was abruptly and unjustly erased. The focus on the open casket, while dominating the current news cycle, is a distortion of her true legacy. It forces her identity to be permanently tethered to the violent or tragic manner of her death, rather than the sum of her lived experiences. As the immediate shock of the viewing fades, the broader legal and investigative timeline will eventually reclaim the spotlight. The open casket was a moment of pause, a horrific visual punctuation mark in a much longer, more complex narrative. Investigators are still piecing together the exact sequence of events that led to the hospital or the scene where she was found. Authorities have not confirmed a final cause of death, and until they do, the open casket serves as a haunting, silent testimony to a physical reality that the official reports have yet to catch up with. It is a physical manifestation of a family's refusal to accept a sanitized or incomplete version of the truth. The digital footprint left by the search for Lauren Burnett's open casket will eventually fade, replaced by the next trending tragedy. But for the family, the image of that room, the visual reality of that final goodbye, will remain a permanent, indelible scar. The question that lingers long after the keywords stop trending is not just about how she died, but about the collective societal complicity in turning a family's most agonizing moment into a fleeting source of digital entertainment. When the screens go dark and the searches stop, the heavy, quiet reality of a life lost is left entirely in the hands of those who actually loved her, forced to navigate the aftermath of a tragedy the world watched but will never truly understand.